for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jalen Walker. If you're listening to the podcast via Spotify, Apple Music, or any other streaming platforms, please make sure to check us out on YouTube and click that subscribe button. Much appreciated. UFC 266 has arrived. One of the biggest UFC cards of the year is upon us. Headlining is Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega for the Flyweight title. Co-main is Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy for the women's Flyweight title. And for the first time since 2015, Stockton's own Nick Diaz stepped back inside the Octagon to face former Welterweight Champ Robbie Lawler. It's a night we will for sure never forget. Will we have two new champions? And will Diaz be able to repeat his performance against Lawler from a long time ago? Also, the UFC 2021 Hall of Fame has concluded. We will talk about the inductees and their accomplishments. We'll break it all down and much, much more. But first, a word from our sponsors at Manscaped. Attention, listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston. Do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Take your pubes to the next level with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in 0-degree gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free international shipping with code POUND4POUND. You can also go to manscaped.com/pound4pound and the coupon code will automatically be applied to your cart. That's 20% off plus free shipping. Code POUND4POUND at manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped. Appreciate you. All right. Before we break down the Hall of Fame, stuff like that. Actually, we'll do the Hall of Fame first in Dana White's Contender Series. Hall of Fame took place yesterday. Some of the inductees, we have Kevin Randleman, Jon Jones fight versus Alexander Gustavuson, Mark Ratner, and Dustin Poirier. First off, Kevin Ratner. First of all, RIP. We lost Kevin to a difficult fight of lymphoma. He passed away in 2016. He is honored in the Pioneer Wing. His family was there to accept his inductee into the UFC Hall of Fame, much deserving to him. One of my favorite fights of all time, Jon Jones versus Alexander Gustavuson, won at UFC 165. That is honored in the Fight Wing. Jon Jones said, that was such a difficult fight. Thank you, Alex, for being a part of that. Alex taught me a lot about myself. And, I mean, that was a huge fight for Jon Jones at the time. Alexander, those two going back at it for those years was absolutely phenomenal. And then we got Mark Ratner, inducted to the Contributors Wing of the UFC Hall of Fame. The former executive director of Nevada State Athletic Commission was inducted to the Contributor Wing after their tireless efforts he made to help expand MMA legalization, including a decade-long fight to finally get the sport into the state of New York. He had this to say I'm overwhelmed isn't even the right word, Ratner said while accepting the award. And then the final award, we had Dustin Poirier received the inaugural Forrest Griffin Community Award for the Good Fight Foundation. We all know Dustin Poirier is huge in his community and huge in charity work. He had this to say: "It's a true honor to be the first recipient of the Forrest Griffin Community Award," Poirier said. "It's so awesome for the Good Fight Foundation to be recognized for all the good it's been doing to underserved communities in Louisiana and beyond now at this point. Congratulations to all the inductees." I mean, it was a great class. This was very well done. Oh yeah, and then I don't know how. GSP, welcome to the Hall of Fame. I mean, GSP's always been in the Hall of Fame in my eyes, but GSP had one of the greatest careers in UFC history. He is the GOAT. He is the one. He is the Michael Jordan of UFC. So congratulations the George St. Pierre GSP is officially inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all the inductees. It was a great ceremony. It was really well done. So yeah, congratulations to all of them. All right, on to Dana White's Contender Series Week 4. So first fight tonight we had Victor Martinez, who defeated Jacob Rosales. That was a unanimous decision. For this, there's only one fight that was a unanimous decision, so I just wanted to say that. Victor did receive a UFC contract. He fights in the lightweight division. And then at the flyweight division, we have Cledson Rodriguez, who defeated Santos Cortolo. That was a unanimous decision. Also, Keldson Rodriguez also received a UFC contract. Then at featherweight, we had Steven Nguyen, who defeated Theo Ralgang. That was a unanimous decision. Neither one received a UFC contract. And then at welterweight, we had Michael Morales, who defeated Nikole Veternikov in a unanimous decision. Michael Morales received a UFC contract. And then at catchweight 189, AJ Dobson defeated Hasim Arkhaga with a submission rear naked choke in the first round at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. AJ Dobson did UFC contract. Congratulations to all the contract winners and welcome UFC. All right, on to this insane fight card. Insane fight card. First off, we got Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo at the women's flyweight division. Jessica, aka Bay Estaca, is 21-9. Andrade is coming off a recent loss and has pushed her last 4 battles to 1-3. Her most recent loss was a second-round TKO against Valentina Shevchenko, who's also defending her title tonight, and that was back in April of this year. Jessica's fighting resume shows she has 8 wins by knockout, 7 by decision, and 7 by submission and 6 by decision. She's lost her last 3 of 4. 2 of those were title fights, and the other one was a current champion. Current champion is strawweight Rose Namajunas, who is a power drive in the 2019 to claim the strawweight title. However, Andrade went on to lose her first defense to Weili Zhang, who ran through her in the first round, losing via TKO. She then met Rose again and looked good, but fell on the wrong side of a split decision. She responded by dispatching top contender Caitlin Kukagian in the first round with a punch to the liver. This moved her up in the flyweight division and put her back at a title shot. Unfortunately for her, Shevchenko sits on the 125 throne and was completely outclassed, getting thrown around before suffering the 4th round knockout of her career. Jessica's going to be taking on Cynthia, who's 9-2-1. She's coming off a unanimous decision loss to Caitlin Kukagian back in November of last year. This broke her recent 3-fight winning streak, which also included a tie dating back to late 2018. Her fighting resume shows that she has 2 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 4 by decision. So far, she has put together a balanced resume that can handle any situation. She has shown her title potential for a while, and will this be her fight to get her there? We'll see. She's a very experienced fighter. She's bigger than Jessica. So we'll see what happens in the long run. Both fighters have a strong background. You can argue either side here, but in my opinion, I have Jessica Andrade wins this fight via KO. Alright, on to the next fight. We have Curtis Blaydes versus Garzinio Rosenstrok, the heavyweight division. Curtis Blaydes, aka Razor, 14-3, won no contest. Blaydes is coming off a 2nd round knockout punch to Derek Lewis. As we all know, that uppercut that landed was insane. That was back in February this year. This loss snapped his previous 4-fight winning streak dating back to early 2019. His fighting resume showed he has 10 wins by knockout and 4 by decision. If the fight stays standing, he always has a chance to end it early by knockout. Curtis Blaydes returns, like I said, after his 3rd loss to the one-punch knockout artist Derek Lewis. His only losses prior to that was to champ Francis Ngannou, and since his 2nd burial in 2018, he went on an impressive winning streak, collecting the scalps of Justin Willis, Shamil Abdulkarimov, Junior Dos Santos, Alexander Volkov, But however, he ran into another monster in Derek Lewis, which stopped this train from going any further. Curtis is taking on Garzinio to Rosenstrok, aka Biggie Boy. Biggie Boy is 12-2. Rosenstrok is coming off his first round TKO victory against Augusta Sakai back in June of this year. This got him back on the winning side after he lost to Cheryl Gain in the previous matchup. His fighting resume shows that he has 11 wins by knockout, 1 by decision. He's been dominant with his battles when the fights stay standing. But can he do it again? Garzinio suffered the same fate as Blades when he met Ngannou in May last year, getting violently slept. Like Blades, he also finished the former champion Dos Santos and then suffered a second loss of his career, getting outclassed in unanimous decision to Cheryl Gain. He returned 4 months later to duke out against Augusta Sakai and dusted him off at the end of the first round. I mean, what can I say? These are two of the best heavyweights in the division. If you're in the top 10 of the heavyweights, you deserve to be there. You have the power, you have the grit, you have the toughness. These can go either way. That's all I'll say. They can go either way, but at the moment right now, I gotta take Curtis Blades wins via decision. I do think there could be a knockout late in the third round, but I think both these guys can take a punch. I think both these guys will be able to. I think they'll be able to last longer than their recent opponents against each other, if that makes sense. I think that both of them have strong ability to knock each other out. But I think they're going to try so hard to get that knockout that they're going to tire themselves out. And it's going to go to decision. But like I said, I have Blades wins via decision. All right. I can't tell y'all how happy I am to talk about this fight right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Diaz is making his return to the UFC Octagon. We got Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. The rematch at the middleweight division. Nick Diaz, 26-9, 2 no contests. Diaz has had a 6 years absence in the UFC, not have fighting since, 2015 at some point? Almost 2,430 days since he last competed. Lawler hasn't fought in over a year, though, and has lost his last 4 appearances, but, Diaz, he hasn't fought since his 2 straight losses and no contests against Anderson Silva. We thought we would never see the day. We really did. Nick Diaz is returning. He was last active in 2011 when he capped off an incredible 11-fight win streak, mostly for Strikeforce, but dominating the smaller BJ Penn in the decision. He has not won a fight since fighting 1 year later, losing a unanimous decision to Carlos Condit, and did not return for another year when he fought George St. Pierre for the welterweight title, getting outpointed again. 2 years later, he came out of retirement for the Glamour tie with Anderson Silva, but lost another unanimous decision, although it was later overturned to a no contest after they both failed drug tests. Diaz got popped for marijuana and received an incredible harsh 5-year ban, which was later reduced by the USADA and has kept him out of action until they recently relaxed marijuana usage rules. He's taking on Robbie Lawler, aka Ruthless. It's 28-15, 1 no contest. Lawler has lost his last 4 fights and has gone 1-5 in his last 6 battles. His most recent performance was a unanimous decision against Neil Magny. That was back in August of last year. His fighting resume shows 20 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 7 by decision. He has a long career of excellent wins, but he is not the same fighter back then. Cut from the same cloth, Robbie Lawler heads back into the battle. His activity has inevitably declined as he approaches the end of his career, but he has continued to put on an unforgettable performance since the first fight, all the way back in 2004. He has fought the best welterweights in the world, Strikeforce and the UFC, and no one can forget his run to the title, claiming the belt in 2014, earning a split decision in his rematch against Johnny Hendricks. Both fighters are incredibly gifted in the octagon. Will Nick Diaz have a lot of ring rust? Will Robbie Lawler lose his 5th straight battle? Will this be it for Robbie Lawler if he loses this battle? A lot on the line here. Nick Diaz doesn't think he should be fighting Robbie Lawler. He thinks he should be fighting Kamaru Usman. That's the fighter mentality. That's the Stockton mentality. That's what they do. That is the Diaz brothers. They want nothing but the best fight. That's what they want. They don't care about the title. They don't care. They care about the title, but they care more about the opponent they're fighting. So, I mean, is it a surprise here? I got Diaz wins TKO. I mean, it's that simple for me. The man's a legend. The man is one of the best to do it. The Diaz brothers are a duo to mess with. They are both in the same division, which kind of complicates things, but I'm excited for this fight. I got Diaz wins via TKO. All right, the co-main event for the Women's Flyweight Championship of the World, Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Valentina, aka the Bullet, 23-3. Shevchenko enters this matchup as the current Women's Flyweight Champion and has a 7-fight winning streak. Her most recent performance was a second-round TKO against Jessica Andrade back in April of this year. Fighting resume shows that she has 7 wins by knockout. None by... Sorry, my text got messed up. She has a very, very well-balanced resume. She's the queen of the flyweight division, the best female in mixed martial arts, the grace the planet behind Amanda Nunes. Shevchenko is the female GOAT with Amanda Nunes hand in hand in the UFC. Like Nunes, she boosts a seismic skill gap between all other competitors in her division, and since winning the vacant title in 2018 against Joanna, she has dispatched Jessica I knockout, Liza Carmucci unanimous decision, Caitlin Kukagian TKO, Jennifer Maya unanimous decision, and most recently Jessica Andrade at TKO. Maybe there's not much more we can say about Valentina Shevchenko. She is one of the best to do it. She is one of the greatest female fighters of all time, and no one can touch her, which is how it is. She's taking on Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy's 15-4. Murphy finds herself on a 5-fight winning streak heading into this event. Her most recent battle was a split decision against Joanne Calderwood back in June of this year. Her fighting resume shows she has 8 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 6 by decision. She has shown to take this striking war to the distance, which could be crucial in this matchup. Lauren Murphy is the next lamb in line, as I like to say. Has been very vocal about deserving a title shot, and she has to point possibly a unanimous decision. She might have to push it to a decision. She's not going to get the knocked out against Shevchenko. She does have an impressive resume, beating Mara Romero Barella, TKO, Andrea Lee, split decision, Roxanne Modafferi, unanimous decision, Lilia Sharkarova via the submission, and Joanne Calderwood, split decision. She has fought some of the best in the division. The rest of them are not Shevchenko. That's all I got to say. I mean, there's no really need to talk about this fight anymore because Shevchenko's going to win via TKO like she always does. She's going to do her beautiful dance at the end. She's going to do everything in her power to win this fight and retain her title and put another title defense in her back pocket. I don't see this fight going any other way. Shevchenko wins via TKO. Plain as that. No disrespect to Lauren Murphy, but we're talking about the GOAT here. One of the GOATs. All right, on to the main event. Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega at featherweight division. After an incredible season of The Ultimate Fighter, the two coaches will fight for the featherweight championship of the world. Volkanovski, aka the Great, 22-1, former rugby player. Volkanovski is the current featherweight champ with a 19-fight winning streak on the line. His most recent performance was a split decision against Max Holloway back in July last year, which we all know he lost, but judges. This was also the second straight victory against Holloway. His fighting resume shows that he has 11 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 8 by decision. He has been quite versatile in his battles and can claim a win from anywhere. Alexander Volkanovski finally gets to make the second defense of his title. He last fought over a year ago in successful rematch with one of the best featherweights of all time. He caused the upset of 2019 to earn a classic unanimous decision over Max Holloway and followed it up with a tighter split decision. These wins have come off the back of another unanimous decision over Jose Aldo. But despite those wins over the two best featherweights of all time, Volkanovski is still yet to receive the recognition he deserves. Well, he didn't win the last fight against Max Holloway, so I will say that. He's expected to try to suffocate Ortega with his volume, pounding the leg kicks and combinations while mixing in takedown attempts. Do not be surprised if Volkanovski does not rely on his wrestling, at least for a couple rounds. His biggest threats are leaving his neck exposed when shooting in and those devastating uppercut elbows as he closes the distance, so he may decide to back his striking to earn a decision. Brian Ortega, T-City, 15-1, won no contest. Ortega is coming off a tough unanimous decision victory against Chan Song Jung back in October of last year. This looks like a brand new Ortega, especially after the recent loss to Max Holloway the fight before. Ortega came into this fight after shaving his head in the dressing room. We all know that story is insane. That minds to the Brian Ortega. He was scheduled to fight back in April, only to have a COVID-19 scupper the clash with the Aussie testing positive just before the fight. They then got drafted in to coach the Ultimate Fighter 29, dragging out their new date until UFC 266. Ortega cannot wait to get back in the Octagon after putting on his best ever performance. The Jiu-Jitsu ace went toe-to-toe with the Korean zombie Chang Song Jung in the stand-up battle and won. Few would have predicted that, especially after he got well and truly schooled and humbled by Holloway almost 2 years prior in December of 2018. Ortega was a different beast in his last fight, and if he improves further, he could shock a lot of people. We are backing Volkanovski striking in his fighting IQ, but I would have to say one mistake and T-City takes this fight. It's so hard, this fight. I'm literally like, I'm going to do it. I got Brian Ortega wins via submission. I'm going to say it. I got him winning the Flyweight title, UFC. I got him submitting Volkanovski. It's going to be an excellent battle. It'll probably be in the third or fourth round. This is going to be a brawl. This could possibly be fight of the year. I know I say that a lot, but this could be fight of the year. Both these gentlemen are incredibly talented. Volkanovski is a little heated because he just found out about Brian Ortega's past doping scandal. Don't really want to get into much of that, but as I see it, I see Brian Ortega takes this fight and wins via submission and becomes the new Flyweight champion of the UFC. I'm very excited for these fights. The early prelims start at 6 p.m. Preliminary card starts at 8 p.m. Those are both on ESPN Plus, and then the pay-per-view starts at 10 p.m. and this is from the T-Mobile Arena. I'm excited. You guys excited? UFC 266. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. I appreciate everyone coming through. It's really nothing else we got. Next week we'll have Anthony Ramos on the show. We've had him a couple times. Going to be talking about his new gym he's opening up. Really looking forward to talk to him again and to see where he's at in his career. Great guy. So make sure you tune in for that next Saturday. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm Jalen Walker, and this is Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. Peace.